सदस्यमान भक्तिवेदांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय, नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से गौर श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद से अद्वैत गदाधर शिवास आदि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गौ गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरिवर्धन की जय, वृंदावन धाम की जय, नवद्वीप धाम की जय, स्वामी तो भक्तवृंद की जय, गंगा माई की जय, जमुना माई की जय, तुलसी देवी की जय, भक्ति देवी की जय, स्वामी तो भक्तवृंद की जय। All glories to the assembled Lord. All glories to the assembled Lord. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. The following is the class from Srimad Bhagavatam, dated on 10th of September 1976, delivered at Vṛndāvana. Again, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 7, verse number 11.
Hare Gunakittamati Bhagavan Badarayani Adhyayat Mahadakhyanam Nityam Vishnu Janapriya. This Srimad Bhagavatam, Mahapuranam, it is called Mahapuranam. Mahadakhyanam, Akhyanam, narration, history. It is not fictitious, it is history. The activities of the Kauravas, Pandavas, many other activities mentioned here, Dhruva Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Ambarish Maharaj, many devotees and their activities, their history. It is not mythology. The rascals, they say mythology. No. It is history. Mahabharata. Maha means greater. And Bharat means this planet. So Mahabharata means the history of this planet. Now it is minimized. India. India is given the name given by the Britishers or the Europeans. Real name is Bharat, Bharatvarsha, according to the name of Maharaj Bharat. So, this greater India, Mahabharata, this is also history, Itihas. Itihasa Purana. Purana means old history. Purana means old. It is not mythology. Purana. So, Srimad Bhagavatam is Amalam Puranam. Amalam. Amala means dirty things. And Amalam means without any dirty things. What is that dirty things? The dirty things means the material modes of nature. Satagun, Rajagun, Tamun. Because it is material, it is called molo, dirt. And Srimad Bhagavatam, Amalam, without any material contamination. Because simply narration of Bhagavan and Bhagavan's devotee, Bhagavat, Bhakta. Therefore it is named Bhagavatam, dealings between the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his devotees. Srimad Bhagavatam. So, who will be interested in Srimad Bhagavatam? That is mentioned here. Hare Guna Akiptamana. Kipta means madness. Here is a man, Kipta means he is mad. So there are two kinds of madness. One madness is for material enjoyment. They are also mad. Pramatta. Nunam pramatta kurute vikarma. The material madness entangles people more and more in the process of birth and death. Bhaktivinoda Thakur has sung, Anadi karama phale pori bhavan navo jale toribare na dekhi upay. Anadi karama phale pori bhavan navo. We are somehow or other, we have fallen in this material world, the ocean of nescience, bhavanava, Arnava means ocean, and bhava means repetition of birth. This ocean we have fallen. Therefore, our prayer should be not for any material opulence, as we generally do. Dhanam dehi, rupam dehi, give me money or mitigate my distress. This is very lower stage of devotion, to ask something from the Supreme Lord. Artha arthati jigyasu. The beginning, provided one is background is pious, because without piety nobody can approach the Supreme Personality of God. Jesham antagatam papam jananam punna karma. Those who are simply acting piously, such person can approach the Supreme Personality of God. Not impious person can. Therefore we shall be very, very careful about impious activities. The impious activities, we know the four legs of impious activities: illicit sex, intoxication, meat eating, and gambling. So therefore we should be very, very careful about these impious activities. You cannot make any spiritual progress by simultaneously acting impiously, and at the same time it is sure it will go, but it will go very slow. Just like if you have got dry wood, then the fire ignites very easily. And if you bring wet fuel, it takes time. Of course, as soon as there is fire, the wetness of the fuel will dry, but it will require extra energy. And if you put dry fuel, then it ignites very easily. So in order to keep us dry without being wetted by the impious activities, then spiritual progress will be very quick. We should remember. Actually, if we want to be advanced in Krishna consciousness, it is our duty to keep ourselves dry from material wetness. That is our duty. Jīṣāmantagatam pāma. Therefore Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, especially two things, Vishainam Sandarsanam, Atha Jūsitān, two things, omen and money. If we become attracted, omen means for man, the omen is omen, and for the omen, the man is omen. Not that omen means a particular class. Omen means which are enjoyable. In this material world, a man is enjoyable by the omen, and the omen is enjoyable by man. So for both of them, Vishainam Sandarsan Atha Jūsitān. Jūsit means enjoyable. This body is superfluous. The bodily structure, it can be changed. Perhaps you know now in medical science they can change the woman's body into man's body and the man's body into woman's body. It was formerly being also changed. In Bhagavatam you find that in a garden, I forget the name. No. In a garden where Lord Shiva was engaged with Uma, husband and wife. So all of a sudden, many saintly persons entered to see Lord Shiva. At that time, Uma, Parvati became very much ashamed. She was not very properly dressed. So, immediately the saintly person, they left that Lord Shiva is now in his private affairs. So, Lord Shiva, to please Parvati, he immediately said, henceforward, anyone who will enter this forest, he will become open. So one king, I forget the name, with his party, without the knowledge, he entered the forest and all of them became open. So the idea is that the man's body can be transformed into woman's body and a woman's body can be transformed into man's body. Because we are not this body, dress. Suppose I have got this dress, this man's dress, I can transform into woman's dress with a sari. And that does not mean I am woman. So, every one of us, living entity, we are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. The outward dress, man and woman, that is dress. Bhasangsi jinnani tathavya. We are changing this dress. So, in this material world, because our mentality is to enjoy, therefore, it is called Purusha. Purusha prakriti sthopi bhunte prakritijan guna. Purusha, here Purusha, the living entity, it is said Purusha. Purusha means both man and woman, because everyone has got this spirit. I shall enjoy. So therefore he is described as Purusha. Purusha, prakriti-sthopi, in this material world. Bhunte prakriti-jana gunan, karanam guna sangarsha sadasat janma junisu. We are getting different types of body on account of our different desires. Karanam guna sangarsha sadasat janma. According to the desire, Krishna is so kind. As we are desiring, he is supplying the necessary body. That is also explained. Ishara sarvabhutanam riddeshe arjuna tishtati. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Ishara, he is situated in everyone's heart. So he knows what I want. Ishara sarvabhutanam riddeshe, it is pointed out, riddeshe, in the core of the heart. You haven't got to search throughout the universe. He is within the heart. He is there. Therefore the yogis, they try to find out the Supreme Lord within the heart. Dhyana avastita tadgatina manasa pasyanti jam yogi. That is yogi. Who tries to find out the Supreme Personality of Godhead within the heart. That is that. That is meditation. Meditation does not mean anything nonsense. To see the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, Lord Vishnu. So, Prakriti-sthopi, we are in this material world. What is this material world? Material world means three modes of material nature, Satagun, Rajagun, Tamam. So according to the association, Karanam Guna Sangha, either Satagun or Rajagun and Tamagun, this is going on. And therefore we are getting different types of body. So this is going on. It is called Bhavarnava. So, if we want to get release from this entanglement of being polluted by the three modes of material nature, then we have to come to this platform, Nirgun. Nirgun. Nirgun means to associate with the Supreme Personality of God, or to be engaged in devotional service. That is Nirgun. Manchabhya vicharini bhakti yogi na ja sevate sagunana samatitto etana brahma bhuyaya kalpa. Immediately you can be placed on the transcendental platform as soon as you begin your devotional service of Bhavichaya without any deviation. Ananya Bhakti. Bhajate Mam Ananya Bha. That is what? What is an Ananya Bha? Anna Vilasita Sunnam. Without any material pleasure. Sarvapati Vinirmuktam. That is pure devotion. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore recommends that Niskincanasya Bhagavad Bhajanolmugas. Anyone who is aspiring to become advanced in Krishna consciousness, Bhagavad Bhajanolmugas. Why Bhagavad Bhajan requires? Paranga paranga jigimiso abusagara. For a person who wants to go to the other side of the ocean of desire, paranga paranga jigimiso. It means one who is very rich man. No. Rich man and poor man doesn't matter. If one is interested simply with the four principles of the bodily necessities, ahara, nidra, bhaya, maithun, eating, sleeping, sex and defense, they are called Vishaya. Vishayana, Vishaya khalu sarvatasya. If Vishaya means rich man, then why the Shastra says Vishaya khalu sarvatasya? The enjoyment of these four necessities of body, it is available everywhere. The sparrow is also enjoying Vishaya. There is a male and female and they are jumping from one tree to another, from here to there, and as soon as they require, they are enjoying sex and are eating something. So eating, sleeping, mating, this is going on. That Vishaya is available. I have seen at night small insects. They are also enjoying eating, sleeping, mating. The small, very small ant is captured. Jiva jivasya jivanam. One life is meant for being eaten by another life. You can see man very small. He has got all the same tendency. So Vishaya khalu sarvatasya. So one has to become free from this Vishaya. Vishayanam sandarsanam athajoshitani ha hanta vishavaksanatapi asadu. That is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we shall be very careful. Vishayana, a devotee, if he thinks, oh, here is a nice woman, if I could enjoy her, or here is a nice man, if I could enjoy her. This is Vishayanam Sandarsam. To see one woman is not dangerous, but to think of enjoying, that is dangerous. Similarly, to see one man is not dangerous. You cannot avoid that. You are on the street here. But to see with the spirit of enjoyment, that is dangerous. So you should be very careful. And that requires, I would say, training, very strong training in Krishna consciousness. Unless one is strongly in Krishna consciousness, that long habit of enjoying the spirit cannot be given up. This is Loke Bhavayami Samadhaseva Nityasta Jantu, animal. Anyone who is addicted to Bhavaya, sex life, Amisha, meat eating, Madhaseva, intoxication, that is the natural tendency of anyone in this material world. Bhavaya Amisha Madhaseva, Nitya. Spiritual advancement means to give up. This Amisha Madhaseva, that is spiritual life. And spiritual life does not mean you have to grow 4 hands and 4 legs. No. Simply you have to give up this tendency of Bhavayami Samadhaseva. And therefore Shastra gives you training how to. Therefore here it is said, Harer Gunakhitta Moti Bhagavan Vadara. Don't do that. Don't divert attention. You cannot understand, you can go play there. Harer Gunakhitta. So you cannot be mad after Harer Guna unless you give up your madness of material enjoyment. So long we are mad after material happiness, then we do anything wrong. Nunam pramatta kurute bikarma. Bikarma means activities which are forbidden. That's like Bhavaya, Amisha Madhasya. These are forbidden. But they indulge in these things nowadays, all over the world. This Bhavaya, Amisha Madhasya. This is bikarma, forbidden activities. But they indulge in. Why? Because pramatta, they have become mad. So, madness there is. The one madness you have to give up, this material madness. And you have to become mad after Krishna. Then your life is successful. That madness is exhibited by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Jugaitam animisena, chakshusha pravishaitam, sunnaitam jagat sattvam, govindam virahena. That madness. Jugaitam animisena. One moment appears to be one juga. One juga means 12 years. So, jugaitam animisena, chakshusha pravishaitam, crying. There is tears in the eyes, like the torrents of rain. Jugaitam animisena, chakshusha, sunnaitam jagat sattvam. I feel the whole world is vacant. Why? Govinda virahena. This madness is one. Without Govinda. That madness. So that madness fully exhibited in Vṛndāvana by the gopis. They were mad after Krishna. When Krishna left Vṛndāvana and went to Mathura, they became so mad that they had no other business that chakshusha pravishayitam, simply crying, torrents of rain. That is what. That is Vṛndāvana life. Not that seeking after sex in Vṛndāvana. That means such person will have to take birth as monkey next life. Monkey. Because they have taken shelter of Vṛndāvana and still they are indulging monkey's business. So they have to, in Krishna's mercy, Tattainukampa Susamiksamana. In Vṛndāvana, the land, transcendental land, that will not go in vain. But these persons who are indulging unnecessary sex life in Vṛndāvana, they will have to take birth as monkey in Vṛndāvana, and then next life they will be liberated. So, otherwise, why in Vṛndāvana the monkeys? They are also devotees, but they could not proceed nicely. So, animal life means stopping sinful activities, and whatever sinful reaction is there in one life finished. So, we shall be very, very careful. Dhama aparad. In the Dhama, in other places, if you chant Hare Krishna, the result of the chanting will be increased 1,000 times if you chant in Vṛndāvana. Similarly, in other place, the sinful activities, if you commit that sinful activities in Vṛndāvana, then it will 1,000 times increase. So we have to be very careful. So Krishna is very kind. Tattainukampa susamiksamana evam kritam vipaka. If we act impiously, we have to suffer, but for a devotee, karmani niddhati kintucha bhaktivedanta. Karmani niddhati. Others, for sinful activities, they will have to continue. But if a devotee is in sinful activities, in one life it is finished. But don't take this concession. We should be very much careful not to come in. So we shall have to increase our madness for Hare Guna Kipta Mati Bhagavan Vṛndāvana. And Vṛndāvana, Sukadeva Goswami is also addressed as Bhagavan. If one is mad after Bhagavan, he is as good as Bhagavan. Hare Rakshita. One who is mad after Bhagavan, he is as good as Bhagavan. Therefore, Vṛndāvana is addressed here as Bhagavan. In the spiritual world, Bhagavan and his paraphernalia, there is no difference. Don't think that the calf or the cows in Vṛndāvana is less than Krishna. No, they are as good as Krishna. Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Pratibhavita. They are expansion of Krishna's Ananda Chinmaya Rasa. Krishna wants to play with the cows and calves. So his Ananda Chinmaya, his spiritual potency appears as cows and calves. Therefore we see Krishna is embracing the calves and cows. He is not embracing a material cow. He has nothing to do with material. Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Pratibhavita. So a pure devotee of Krishna is also addressed Bhagavan. Pure devotee. Not that a magician, a pure devotee. Anna Vilasata Sannam. Bhagavan Vṛndāvana Adhyavya Mahada Khanam. This is Mahada Khanam. It is not ordinary Akhan. Srimad Bhagavatam. Amanam Purana. He was a liberated person, but being to hear about Krishna more and more, this is not material. This is spiritual. Monakanam. Nityam Vishnu Jana Priya. Nitya. Bhagavat is not for a saptaha. Bhagavat is meant for Nityam. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Nasta Prayesu Abhadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Not that one is completely free from the modes of material nature, but Prayesu almost finished. Nasta Prayesu. Then he becomes interested. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Or by serving Srimad Bhagavatam regularly. Nityam, as it is said, Nityam Vishnu Jana Priya. Vishnu Jana and Harijan. Harijan doesn't mean Chamas and Bhangis. Harijan means Chamas and Bhangis can be elevated to Harijan, but not by rubber stamp. Vishnu Jana. Vishnu Jana and Harijan, the same thing. So Vishnu Jana Priya, those who are Vishnu Jana, their most favorable subject matter of understanding is Srimad Bhagavatam Avalampura. Thank you very much.
Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Budli Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvasesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarini. So today's class was on the Srimad Bhagavatam 1.7.11, 10th of December. Was it 1976? My phone died. Vṛndāvana, right? So I'll read the verse again. Hare Guna Kshiptamatir Bhagavan Badarayani Ajagan Mahadakyanam Nityam Vishnu Jana Priyaha. Srila Sukadeva Goswami, son of Srila Vyasadeva, was not only transcendently powerful, he was also very dear to the devotees of the Lord. Thus he underwent the study of this great narration, Srimad Bhagavatam. So Srila Prabhupada covers a number of topics. So I'm going to invite you to tell us what topics, some of the themes that are running through this particular class. I can think of several, but I'll ask you first.
Very first is spirituality means detachment, to give up things.
Giving up thing. Yeah, that's actually running throughout the whole class, detachment, because Prabhupada, at one point he says we have to keep ourselves from being wet, right? He compares material attachment to wetness, so we have to remain dry. So that's running throughout the whole class, because in order to become Krishna conscious, we have to give up the material desires. And in particular, he explains some particular habits that we have to give up. That's very common amongst material people. And he quotes them in Sanskrit. Vishaya. Yeah, that is... Yeah. How about Vyavaya, Amisha, and Madhya Seva? Remember he quotes this. So let's go through these words. What do they mean? What does Vyavaya mean? It means sex life. Amisha, Mititinya, and Madhyaseva. Intoxication, yes. But going back to your point, Vishayinam, there's a famous verse, where's it go now? Niskinchanasya Bhagavan Bhajanon Mukasya Param Param Jigamashur Bhavasagarasya Sandarshinam Vishayinam Ata Yoshitangscha Hahanta Hanta Vishabhakshana Tu Pyasadu. This is Kavikarnapur in Chaitanya Chandrodaya Natika, where he says that if anyone is serious about crossing over this material ocean, then he should be very careful not to associate with women and women hunters. And to do so is equivalent to drinking poison. So this particular, the third line, Vishainam, Sandarshanam Vishainam Ata Yoshitangscha, he quotes this several times in this particular class. And he says an interesting thing about what is meant by woman. He says, for man, woman is woman, but for woman, man is woman. So he's making the point that it's referring generally to attraction to the opposite sex. Thank you. So we're going on themes. You mentioned this theme about being detached. Any other themes that are running through this class? Yes?
Mahabharata.
Mahabharata. Yes.
It's not a mythology.
It's what?
It's not mythology.
Okay.
It's history.
Say again?
History.
History. Okay. Now, it's interesting what he mentions about Bharat. What does he say about India and Bharat? It's mentioned at the beginning of the class. Yes, great. And India's been their conception has shrunk, so now they're just seeing it as India. But generally, it was Mahabharata was the greater India, the whole planet. Thank you. You were going to say something? Oh, that's exactly the same point. Okay, thank you. Other themes? There's one that I thought I had a theme that no one's mentioned yet.
I like the theme Yugayatam Nimeshena. So it's the theme of madness.
Yes.
I really like that, how Mahaprabhu is mad after Krishna searching Govinda Vehene. He's always looking after. It's interesting, like on the one side, materially wise, that we're mad after sense enjoyment.
Yes.
If you compare it and put it on the spiritual side, then we're mad after Krishna. I like that topic.
Thank you very much. That's exactly the same theme that I was thinking of. So, and it's in the verse itself. The word is kshipta. Akshipta means being absorbed in, but actually Prabhupada says it means madness. So we have to become mad for Krishna, and the first line of the verse is saying this, Harer, which means of Lord Hari, Guna kshipta mati, be always thinking, disturbed in the mind, because we're attracted by the qualities of Krishna. So there's two types of madness. There's madness for Krishna, and then there's madness for this material world. And Prabhupada quotes a verse from the 5th Canto. He quotes the first line of it, which describes the madness of the materialist. Anyone remember that particular one? It's Lord Rishabdev speaking to his sons. It's a famous verse. It's quoted in the Bhagavad Gita as it is. Nunam pramata kurate vikarma. I won't do the whole verse, but that's the... So pramata means mad. So he's referring to how we can be mad after material life. Now, there's a question here. What is the reason why the Bhagavatam is called the Bhagavatam? Because Prabhupada gives the answer in the class. Okay, here's a hint. What's another name for a bhakta? A Bhagavata. Yeah? Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. There's two Bhagavatas. Book Bhagavata and person Bhagavata. So he's saying that because the Srimad Bhagavatam is discussing Bhagavan and the Bhakta, who's Bhagavata, therefore it's known as Bhagavatam. It's a discussion about Krishna and Krishna's devotees, so it gets that name.
I also like the point where he's describing how the Bhagavata is as good as Bhagavan.
Yes.
He's describing like the cow. No, the cow is as good as Krishna.
Yes.
I really like that point.
Thank you. And he quotes a verse, in that connection, he quotes a verse from Brahma Samhita. And this is a verse that Prabhupada often quotes, but usually quotes it in relationship to the gopis, because he wants to make the point that Krishna is not at fault by dancing with the gopis. Ananda chinmaya rasa pratibhavi tabis tabirya eva nijarupataya kalabhi galoka eva nivasatya kilatma bhuta govinda madipurusham tamaham bhajamni. It's making the point that Krishna's associates are Ananda chinmaya rasa pratibhavi tabi. They're absorbed in the spiritual energy. Therefore, it's like Krishna, it's like a boy. If a boy plays with his shadow, right, there's no fault because the shadow belongs to him. Therefore, when Krishna plays with the gopis, there's no fault because the gopis are coming from Krishna, Krishna's energy. And so Prabhupada then uses this particular verse to explain how the cows are not ordinary cows. Krishna's not embracing an ordinary cow. His cows are spiritual, like that. So yes. Now there's so much more in the class, but we're running a bit short. But I want to give you the opportunity to say what stuck out for you, what particular points in this class you connected to.
Prabhupada spoke a really relevant topic about transgender, different.
Yes,
yeah,
transgender.
So a man can be woman, a woman can be man.
Yes.
And he quoted that story, Lord Shiva, Parvati.
Yes, so that's an interesting one because it's now very much a topic now, but in those days, Prabhupada said it can be done now, you can change your gender through surgery. And he's making the point. It's actually Sujumna, right? In the 9th Canto, chapter 1, there's a story of how Sujumna becomes a woman. So it's a curse, but actually became, 1 month he's a woman, 1 month he's a man. Prabhuji, you have something.
I like the point where Prabhupada is telling spiritual progress and impious activities go ill together. So you cannot make spiritual progress while at the same time acting impiously.
Thank you. And he quotes a verse from the Bhagavad Gita, Tesham yesham yant tvantagram papam jananam punya karmanam. Yeah. Here's an interesting point, because about a year ago, someone said to me, where's it in Shastra, where's it said that you get 100 times the offense if you commit a sin in Vṛndāvana? And no one had any praman for that at all. But this particular class, Prabhupada mentions this particular point. He's saying that if we perform devotional service in Vṛndāvana, we get 1,000 times the benefit. But if we perform sinful activities, 1,000 times reaction. So it's very, very, very careful about what you do when you're living in Vṛndāvana, because 1,000 is a very big number. Any other points? Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, there's a couple of nice points. Particularly, Prabhupada says, if one is mad after Bhagavan, he is good as Bhagavan.
Yes.
Very powerful.
That's a nice quote. It's like, yeah, the devotee is non-different from Krishna, is as equal to Krishna. So that's a nice point. At the end, he alludes to a certain phrase that Gandhi used, right? Vishnu-jan, Hari-jan. Of course, we know there's a history there that Gandhi, he started calling the untouchables Hari-jan. Of course, he was a social reformer, wanted them to be given proper respect, which is a nice mood. But Prabhupada's point is you can't just call someone Hari-jan. The person has to be qualified. They have to actually have bhakti in their heart. So the term Vishnu-jan and Hari-jan is reserved for the devotees. You can't just, he says, uses the term rubber stamp. You can't rubber stamp someone as Hari-jan. Jai. Anything else? Yes. Krishna Govinda. Oh yes.
I was just wondering, in this pastime, when Parvati cursed everybody who enters this Lalita Varsha, it becomes woman. So is it like Shiva was cool, he didn't care much, but she was upset. So in that sense that she's always identifying as a woman, although so exalted, she's in control.
Parvati.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that, I don't know, is that one of the 5 deities you cannot become? Is Parvati one of them also? Yeah, so that means she's actually cursed to become forever woman. And then these pastimes are very interesting that she couldn't transcend that, so what to speak about ordinary jivas, this identification of goals.
So, yeah, okay, so Parvati and Shiva had some intimate connection, and it was an offense that the sages saw that. And that's why the curse happened.
The curse goes on to this very day. If somebody
Yes.
has fortune to enter that Varsha, which is not accessible to us, can change it. So that's the best way to become if you are transgender.
Go to Ila Varta. What's it called? The forest? Ila?
Lalita Varsha. This is central Varsha in Jambu.
Okay, thank you. Okay, just for convenience, Prabhuji's just behind you. Okay then, Krishna.
Prabhupada stated specifically to not seek pleasure in anything material, anything at all. If you want to get out, really freed from material suffering, you have to put your senses into the spiritual world.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Very high standard. Can anyone do that? Another thing he's making the point, what was it now? That slipped my mind. Anyway. Oh yes, he said, you can look at a woman, but if you want to enjoy a woman, that's different. So you can look. There is a nice pastime, Prabhupada. You probably heard this one before. He's with some sannyasi, and he says to the sannyasi, she's beautiful, isn't she? The sannyasi's like, he starts shaking, he's like, doesn't know what to do. So Prabhupada says, you can look, but no enjoyment. So if your heart is pure, you can appreciate beauty, but you don't become attached. So Prabhupada is saying, you can look at a woman, but if you want to enjoy, that is the problem. And woman wants to enjoy man, that is the problem. So you got the microphone? Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, Prabhupada is saying, we have to become pious before we can approach Krishna.
Yes.
Like, Yesam Tvanta Kata Papam. But then also, Prabhupada quotes that verse in 1866 in the Gita, and he says, previously it's like this, but now Krishna's saying, anyone can come to me, and just by doing devotional service, then you'll get free from the sinful reaction.
Mm-hmm.
So perhaps could you sort of explain that a little?
Okay. Now, the word pious in this particular verse, we should understand what it means. It's spiritual piety has been referred to there. It's not that by material piety you can come to Krishna. Those who develop dridha vrata, firm faith, is due to spiritual activity. So this is referring to how to come to Krishna, how to attain perfection. You have to accumulate spiritual piety. But that doesn't mean you can't just decide, okay, I'm going to now give up all religion and surrender to Krishna. You can have that desire within your heart, maybe. And then you have to then do the process of becoming completely free of all material desires. So it's kind of both. It's not like it's a contradiction, because one of them is talking about how to actually perfect the process, and the other verse from 1066 is saying, if you surrender, then I will deliver you from all sinful activities. It's a little subtle, not explaining it well, but it's like if someone gets a book on the street, they may within their heart decide to take it seriously, right? That could be from the mercy of a devotee, Krishna's mercy, or it could be from devotional service from a previous life. But this verse from the 1060, is it 65 or 66? 66, right? It's like, it's a very high platform. Abandon all varieties of religion and surrender to Krishna. I mean, how do you actually surrender to Krishna? It's not easy to do, right? So if we actually look at it as the perfection is to surrender to Krishna fully, then that is a process as well. So both verses are referring to a process of gradual spiritual advancement through eradication of sin and accumulating spiritual piety. Oh, thank you. Anyway, does anyone else have any further, on that particular point, anyone want to add anything? Okay, just, yeah, as you like.
So if you're born into Kami life is all you know, And it's sometimes a bit fun and sometimes a bit hard, but you work hard and you get the fruits of your actions. So to be told you have to surrender to something you can't see, can't experience and can't get to can be a little bit difficult to do. So you can, as you say, surrender is a process, and it builds on faith and experience and time. So it's understandable that people, we just walk past them and chant Hare Krishna and they don't fully surrender and become a pure devotee. It's understandable why it can be difficult, and there's a process involved.
Thank you. It's a process.
And to continue, if you take to that process, the first step is also the last step as well. It's just you're not aware that you've got there. Your consciousness is only at the beginning of your journey. But if you're sincere in taking a little first step, then Krishna says, I will take care of you, I will give you everything you need, and you'll get there, if you're determined.
Srinivas Prabhu.
Prabhupada says in the 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita purport, he says that if someone wants to compete with Krishna, then he'll become frustrated. So the thing is, you can only surrender to someone if you know that they're going to look after you and take care of you. And the thing about the material world is people don't want to surrender because they want to be Krishna. That's the problem. That's why the material world is there. Surrender is easy, actually. Example is given like a wrestling match, right? If one of the wrestlers just falls on the floor, the game is over. So surrender in that sense is not that difficult, it's easy. It's just because we hold on to the false ego, thinking we are the doers. That's where the problem comes in.
It's easy to surrender, because then you've lost. Easy to lose a game, hard to win, easy to lose. Just give up. So we have to all just give up and accept that we're a bunch of losers. We can't enjoy this material world, and Krishna will deliver us. Simple. Thank you. Canto Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanandi.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.